The McDonald's menu is as vast as it is ever-changing, and you might be forgiven for thinking you're spoiled for choice whenever you walk beneath those golden arches. But what should you go for? These are the most popular McDonald's menu items ranked from worst to first. McDonald's has a seriously impressive list of options on its breakfast menu. Indeed, there's a very good reason that when you roll up to the drive-thru on any given morning, there's always a long line of hungry hopefuls itching to get their hands on a McDonald's breakfast. It's quick, budget-friendly, and a staple of the American diet.
I love morning exercises.
The music!
And having breakfast at McDonald's when we're done!
Oh, yummy! Let's exercise faster!
In the wonderful world of the McMuffins and the McGriddles, there's absolutely no reason you should be reaching for the breakfast burrito. This grab-and-go item is described as a sausage burrito that's loaded with fluffy scrambled egg, pork sausage, melty cheese, green chilies, and onion. What you're more likely to receive is an uninspired, sad-looking flour tortilla filled with a hodgepodge of hastily thrown-together breakfast foods. Let's just say there's a reason they hawk them in orders of 2. The breakfast burrito gives burritos a bad name, sullies the stellar reputation of the McDonald's breakfast, and, most importantly of all, can be easily replicated and improved if you just make it at home. Pass. The Filet-O-Fish may be considered to be an iconic McDonald's menu item, but it's pretty hard to see why. Featuring a slab of fried Alaskan pollock and a heap of tartar sauce, this sandwich was introduced over 50 years ago as their first non-beef option, mostly to appeal to Catholics during Lent. It's since become a staple of their menu and is today loved by many. Unfortunately, mass-produced fast food and the catch of the day tend not to go hand in hand. And sure, there is a lane for fast food seafood, but only as a specialty in places such as Captain D's or Long John Silver's. With McDonald's, not so much. Perhaps most baffling of all, however, is the inexplicable decision to include a slice of processed cheese, which only serves to overpower any flavor coming from the actual fish. What were they thinking? There's nothing more American than apple pie, but what they serve at McDonald's is a far cry from the classic slice of the good stuff you're probably imagining right now. According to the company, McDonald's baked apple pie features 100% American-grown apples and a lattice crust with sprinkled sugar. It's easy to eat on the go, yes, but is it worthy of your appetite? Not quite. Let's start with consistency. When you bite into the pastry, you're likely to be met with a mouthful of pastry that's all flake and no apple. Worse still, there's a good chance you'll burn your mouth on it, Hot Pocket style. There's a reason they put that warning on the label, you know. Honestly, if your heart is still set on the classic American comfort of an apple pie, you'd be better off pairing it with their sundae for a twist on apple pie a la mode. The sausage McMuffin is what happens when you mess with a classic. The original Egg McMuffin is a straight-up icon in the fast food world, thanks to that slight hint of saltiness from the Canadian bacon, working in perfect harmony with a freshly toasted English muffin and that ooey-gooey cheese. The second you substitute it with a sausage patty, though, something goes horribly awry. The pork sausage patty used in the McDonald's sausage McMuffin brings with it a slight hint of spice. This might not be inherently problematic, but when that is combined with cheese and a bun in the form of a muffin, it all starts tasting too much like a standard burger, and that's not something anyone wants to devour at the crack of dawn. You might find that the sausage patty works much better when it's complemented with a warm and flaky biscuit. Problem solved. McDonald's chocolate shake is a perfectly harmless addition to their dessert offerings. A heap of soft serve is mixed with chocolate syrup and topped with whipped cream. As you may have noticed though, this is not a milkshake in any way, shape, or form. The reason behind this is that dairy regulations are varied depending on the state you're in. Because of this, a milkshake must contain a certain amount of milk to actually be classified as one. So while McDonald's shakes do contain milk, it's not actually enough. Still, the chain's chocolate shakes are a fine way to beat the heat and satisfy your sweet tooth. This one isn't super chocolatey, as they add just the right amount of chocolate syrup to the mix. It's actually almost light to taste, mimicking the consistency found in a classic black and white shake. The whipped cream doesn't hurt either. Is it the best shake you'll ever have? Not by a long shot, but it does the trick, and sometimes that's all you need. The classic McDonald's hamburger is where it all started, not only for the company itself, but also for many of us, as this is the meal that is so often the first taste people get of McDonald's.
I've got a Happy Meal!
Nobody can do it like McDonald's can.
As such, the Happy Meal is bound to have strong emotional attachments for most people. The smiling packaging opens to reveal a hamburger, kid-sized version of those world-famous fries, a handful of fruit pieces, and a toy, arguably the best part when you're a kid. After all, who doesn't love that element of suspense and anticipation as you'd open up your box to reveal your latest prize? You'd be forgiven for still being mesmerized by the Happy Meal to this day, and it's not just because of the limited edition toys they've been rolling out for decades. Truth is, this is a well-rounded and balanced option that's not too far on the heavy side, making for a tasty and economical snack. The McDonald's cheeseburger has been around since pretty much the dawn of time. Okay, maybe not that long, but it's certainly been a long-standing staple on the restaurant's menu, as well as a huge part of why McDonald's has become as dominant in the industry as it is today. It all begins with a 100% all-beef burger patty that's seasoned simply with salt and pepper. Placed on a standard bun, the burger is then topped with American cheese, chopped onion, ketchup, mustard, and those signature tangy pickles. Sure, it's simple, but it's also delicious. While the cheeseburger may not be the show-stopping wow moment your taste buds may be craving, you at least always know what you're gonna get with this one. Also, it doesn't hurt that at only 300 calories, the cheeseburger will curb your burger craving without obliterating your daily calorie intake. Never change, little guy. Here's the thing. There's something both familiar and comforting about McDonald's Chicken McNuggets. Every bite will conjure up a wave of nostalgia and instantly transport you back to your childhood. Much like the classic cheeseburger, you know exactly what you were getting here, a salty and crunchy coating which gives way to a meaty center. While McDonald's has offered other poultry dishes over the years, the nuggets remain the most famous of all. They also go wonderfully with the chain's tangy sweet and sour sauce, and can certainly pack a punch with a nice dunk in their buffalo sauce too. In the grand scheme of fast food chicken, these chicken nuggets won't hold a candle to what you'll find at Checkers or KFC, however, as they're not exactly earth-shattering in the flavor department. But people would probably launch a full-scale rebellion if they were ever taken away. Doesn't that say it all?
How do you know you're gonna love the taste of these fries? That's how.
There's a reason these are considered the world's most famous French fries. In their ideal form, whole potatoes are sliced and then cooked to golden brown perfection in McDonald's own blend of vegetable oil. They are then generously salted before being presented in all their crunchy glory. Of course, that's if things go well. In their less than ideal form, basically if they're cold, McDonald's French fries are nothing less than monstrous. As the fries cool, they quickly morph into petrified, sad potato sticks that can't even be saved by a little ketchup or some other dip. It happens, and it's always a tragedy when it does. Do everyone a favor, McDonald's. Keep those French fries as hot as the sun itself, yeah? The new millennium brought a lot into our lives, including a marvel in the fast food industry, McDonald's line of McGriddles. Introduced in 2003, this menu item pioneered a new, totally unique breakfast sandwich. On paper, it doesn't sound like it has any shot of working, but after one bite, you'll probably understand what all the fuss was about. Available in several varieties, including bacon, egg, and cheese, the classic sausage McGriddles feature warm griddle cakes with the taste of sweet maple that hold a savory hot sausage inside. If you're lucky, you'll be presented with a sausage McGriddles breakfast sandwich that is as hot and fresh as you'd expect. Unfortunately, after a few bites, you might find the flavors to fall a little on the dull side. In most cases when this happens, you could always shake things up with some sauce, but there aren't really any that work too well with the McGriddle. You don't add ketchup to a pancake after all. In the end, that uninspiring flavor profile and the McGriddle's relative dryness might have you jumping ship before you finish. If you really love the in-your-face battle of sweet and savory, however, then this one has your name written all over it. Count yourself lucky if you ever find a McDonald's with a working ice cream machine, as these days it's getting increasingly difficult to find a location with one in operation. If you do happen to strike gold, however, then you can get your hands on their famous McFlurry. Introduced in 1997 and a favorite of many, the McFlurry takes your favorite candy and blends it with ice cream, resulting in a cold and creamy flavor explosion. It even comes with a funky-looking spoon. Not all McFlurries are created equal, however, and the McFlurry with Oreo cookies will always rise above the rest. Unfortunately, even this variant is susceptible to inconsistencies, and McFlurries are often blended incorrectly, leading to a wildly uneven distribution of ice cream to candy. On the bright side, that doesn't make them any less delicious. Soft serve is always a great treat, and the candy is a huge bonus. All in all, the McFlurry can be a real winner, if Lady Luck is on your side. Behold, the mighty Big Mac, McDonald's true claim to fame and one meaty giant to boot. Introduced in 1967, the Big Mac has since become synonymous with the chain and a favorite of fast food fans all across the globe. Let's break this one down. The Big Mac takes two 100% all-beef patties with Big Mac sauce and sandwiches it between 3 layers of a sesame seed bun. It's topped with shredded lettuce, chopped onion, pickle chips, and finally 2 slices of American cheese. There's definitely a lot going on here. And here comes the controversy. The Big Mac is in fact a swing and a miss for McDonald's burgers. Truth is, this sandwich is inherently flawed in the meat to cheese to bun ratio. Each and every bite brings a mouthful of bread with only a little bit of meat, and the whole thing is too big to begin with, unless you're really starved. It might be anathema to fans of the Golden Arches, but there are much better burgers on the McDonald's menu than the Big Mac. Hotcakes may not qualify as a grab-and-go option as far as the McDonald's breakfast menu is concerned, but it's absolutely worth carving a few extra minutes out of your day to try one. An order of hotcakes comes with 3 golden brown hotcakes with a slice of real butter and sweet maple-flavored hotcake syrup. With any luck, those pancakes will arrive piping hot with a hugely generous portion size, especially for such a low-costing item. They're light, fluffy, and taste a lot like the pancakes you'd order from a proper diner. And sure, the hotcakes may not be your go-to whenever you go to McDonald's, but have some faith. You may just be pleasantly surprised. Much like the chicken or the egg debate, the origin story of the McChicken versus McNuggets may leave you a little perplexed, but the scoop is that the McChicken actually came first, in 1980 to be exact. This proved to be a major disappointment in the sales department, however, and the item was quickly nixed. The silver lining? The McChicken's failure actually inspired the release of Chicken McNuggets. Because of the success that followed the McNuggets release, the chain brought back the McChicken in 1988, then took it away for a while before it eventually made its glorious return in the late 1990s. This classic menu item consists of a chicken patty topped with shredded lettuce and a dollop of creamy mayo, all brought together on a lightly toasted bun. It's simple, straightforward, and most importantly, delicious. Throw in a bargain price tag and you're looking at a real winner. You might be thinking it's crazy to rank a soft drink so high on a list like this, but don't panic, because this isn't any ordinary Coca-Cola product. The secret behind McDonald's Coca-Cola all comes down to the company's meticulous methods of soda temperature control. There's no crazy secret recipe here. Instead, the soda syrup is delivered to them and stored in stainless steel tanks that help to regulate its temperature and air levels, as well as minimizing any exposure to light. All 3 have a major impression on the product and can quickly degrade the flavor. The water that's then filtered through the soda machine is also kept at a chilly temp to further maintain its integrity. This is exactly why every sip of McDonald's Coke is so much better than it is anywhere else. The McDonald's hash brown is an absolute must-have if you're stopping by for breakfast. With just 8 ingredients, these glorious potato nuggets have been on the menu since the 1970s, having arrived just a few years after the breakfast menu made its debut.
McDonald's hash browns may be a little funny looking, but they sure taste great with your favorite breakfast.
Made primarily from shredded potatoes, the chain's hash brown patties are soft on the inside and enveloped in a crispy, toasty exterior that is generously dosed with salt. It's pure delight in a paper sleeve. They're incredibly consistent, too. Unlike its sibling, the French fry, hash browns are even delicious when they've cooled to room temperature. Pro tip: ask for buffalo sauce on the side and allow your mind to be blown. You're welcome. Everyone knows there's a pretty big difference between the McDouble and the double cheeseburger. Sure, they both feature 200% all-beef patties, seasoned with salt and pepper and topped with pickle slices, chopped onion, ketchup, and mustard. But here comes the biggie. The McDouble only has 1 slice of American cheese sandwiched between the 2 beef patties. On the other hand, the double cheeseburger elegantly stacks its 2 beef patties with 2 slices of cheese. The winner is clear, don't you think? And here's a bonus. The double cheeseburger clocks in at 25 grams of protein and just 450 calories, making it one of the less heavy-duty big burgers on McDonald's menu. Okay, so the oldies may often be the goodies, but this newbie is a real showstopper. The battle of fast food chicken sandwiches is a fierce one indeed, and McDonald's entered the ring with guns blazing. Launched in early 2021, the spicy crispy chicken sandwich features a fried chicken breast topped with pickles and a mayo-based pepper sauce, all sandwiched in between a buttery potato roll. Honestly, this sandwich could easily pass as a menu item from a full-service dining location. The chicken has a nice, crunchy exterior and seems to be freshly prepared. There's also a welcome level of spice from the sauce that is rare in the fast food world. It's also interesting to note that the restaurant created a new bun just for this sandwich, as well as a special crinkle-cut variety of pickle. Kudos on this one. In the world of fast food breakfast, nothing has continually impressed time and time again like the McDonald's Egg McMuffin. Introduced in 1971, this was the first ever quick-service restaurant breakfast sandwich and is still the king of the jungle to this day. What was dreamt up as a crazy idea to mimic an Eggs Benedict on the go has become one of the most beloved breakfast items of all time. The Egg McMuffin features an iconic square of egg with American cheese and a slice of Canadian bacon, all sitting on a toasted English muffin. It's utterly delicious, and at just 300 calories, it's not too heavy-hitting either. More than that, though, there's just something about those blissful bites of cheese. The way they somehow melt off the sandwich and still get stuck to the paper wrapping. Pure nirvana. The burger is what landed McDonald's on the map, and it only makes sense that they eventually perfected it. Enter the Quarter Pounder with cheese. This 100% all-beef 4-ounce fresh patty is impressively cooked to order and seasoned with a dash of salt and pepper before being grilled to perfection on a flat iron top. It's topped with slivered onions, pickles, and 2 slices of melted American cheese, one on the top and one on the bottom, that's loaded onto a sesame seed bun. McDonald's has nailed it here. They've finally achieved the perfect bun-to-meat ratio, with 4 ounces of beef holding up its own against the sturdier sesame seed bun. The quality is apparent in every bite, and the use of 2 slices of cheese is inspired. Where's the beef? Why, it's at McDonald's, of course. Don't sleep on this one. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more mashed videos about your favorite stuff are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.